opposed him just on that statistical, bias, but he's got some real upside, and how he comes back, we don't know, but he's certainly a freakish talent.
And of the remaining quartet, welcome back to our Sky One audience. We've gone through the top four in betting. Passmark, Irish Millie Group 1 winner, cashing out, and Groove Bird, they're $21 plus. Nath, can they upset the apple cart?
I think Irish Millie's racing quite well. She's certainly one that I would throw into my wider exotics. She's been around and against Black Silencer and Ethanol Water the last few runs. She did beat Lanfranco back in the late part of December at Sandown in 41.78. And as you mentioned, she is a Group 1 winner. So she's most probably getting back to somewhat near her best form. So she's one for exotics. Cashing Out, I think, most probably clearly outclassed here. I'm very surprised Cashing Out's price is similar to a Group 1 winner over the staying range in Irish Millie. I'm happy to put a line through him. Groove Bird's going to get forward on a stayer, most probably not at this level. And then the last one is Passmark, who is honest as the day is long. So I think Irish Millie is the best of the roughies. Here's Jason Adams with Tom Daly and Ethanol Water.
Thanks, Nath. I am with Tom, and she was awesome at Albion Park last week, as we know, in the Gold Cup. Since she's returned home, how much work do you put into her leading up to tonight?
She's fit, so she just does her normal work.
And tonight she's got box one, which is a good thing. She usually begins well. She has made a blunder of it a couple of times. Is that sort of out of her doing now? It's sort of behind her and we forget about it?
Well, not really. A couple of times she's done it. I don't know why she's done it. I just hope, as you say, hope she's got it out of her head and she doesn't do it again.
Well, it's not the trainer. We know that, don't we?
Well, no, I'd come out worse.
Good luck to Team Daly. Brooke Ennis with Lanfranco, and we know how good he was in his last start. One of the fastest times we've ever seen over the 700 here at the Meadows. How big is the challenge to do it in a good field?
Oh, look, it doesn't matter what dog you are, it's always a challenge in a Group 1. So, yeah, look, he's racing with a ton of confidence, so I think that's the key to him. He's drawn down near the fence where he really excels. So, look, we just need a bit of luck like always.
Where does he sit after 50 metres?
Hopefully on the back of the red.
That would help. Good luck to Team Ennis. Let's now have a chat to Peter Riley. He's got unreal speed, and Pete, the X factor of the race, sits with him and also Lanfranco for different reasons. But this boy, first up since last May. We know he's had a satisfactory trial at Geelong recently, but what else has he done to be ready for tonight?
Oh, he's had a 500 here where he gone quick enough to win a cup heat, so we're very happy with him. He's happy, he's healthy. He's doing everything we can, so we'll see how we go.
A quick trial over 500, but is he ready to run the full journey over the 700?
I believe so. He's one of these dogs. He works really, really well in the work run, so there shouldn't be any problem there.
Good luck to Team Britain and Unreal Speed. A lot of intrigue surrounds him. Black Silencer Steve White. He had a good campaign up in Brisbane. It was really strong. Coming back to the Meadows, how do you feel about that?
Oh, yeah, I've got no issues with him. It's just that he's just a really slow beginner and needs a lot of luck in his races.
Good luck to the camp there with Black Silencer, boys. There's the latest and the main chances here ahead of the Group 1 Zoom Top.
15 seconds from start time. Ethanol Water is the 280 favourite. Nathan Rooney, your numbers?
1, 2, 7 and 3. Ethanol Water comes up with a pole draw. She's been a Group 1 winner last start up at Albion Park, where she was able to lead all the way. She gets all the favours if she hits the lids here to make her own luck on speed. I think she's clearly on top selection. For second, number 2, Lanfranco. Geez, he blew the clock up here a few weeks ago. He's stepping right up in grade, but he's got a big motor and he's got the right draw to make his presence felt. Black Silencer is a run-home dog. He's been Ethanol Water's bridesmaid a couple of times of recent runs, but he's certainly got the ability if the race shape plans out for him. For fourth, I've thrown in Irish Millie. She's a Group 1 winner and she's starting to get back to her best form. 1, 2, 7 and 3 in the Zoom Top.
Who will join Blue Lorien, Miata, Destiny Fireball, Fantabale, Tornado Tears, Valpolicella, the winner of the Zoom Top last year. Here's James Vandermark for the call of the 2025 edition.
David, a last start Group 1 winner, looking to make it back-to-back Group 1s. Ethanol Water at around $2.70. Green light on and they're set now for the Group 1 Sportsbet Zoom Top. Stand by for a jump. And they're racing, and Ethanol Water stepped well. Groove Bird went out fast, showed the superior speed, and Groove Bird's going to come across and lead. 2.5 to Ethanol Water, who plays the stalking role. Up to third, Passmark, and Lanfranco hugs the rail. And then Unreal Speed, who made a move past Lanfranco with a lap to go. 5 lengths to Black Silencer, Irish Millie, and Cashing Out. It seemed to drop away. It's Groove Bird the leader, led a length and a half. Ethanol Water to the outside, Unreal Speed, and now Lanfranco starting to hit his closing set. section late. And then past Mark and Black Silencer, it's Group Bird the leader. Lanfranco pulled to his outside. Group Bird in front from Lanfranco, who looms up. Group Bird, Lanfranco, they're going to hit it together. And Lanfranco's done it. Lanfranco wins the Zoom top by a head to Group Bird. Third right behind them, Unreal Speed. And then Black Silencer, who came storming home at the end from past Mark, Irish Millie. Ethanol Water dropped away and cashing out a distant tail ender, 42.79, and it's Lanfranco to win the Zoom top. Only just
Lanfranco, a Group 1 winner. It is the Zoom top. Brooke Ennis, it was a wild ride, but he's gotten there in the end.
Yeah, he was amazing. You know, massive credit to Jamie. He's just so good at what he does with these dogs, and I know it's my name that's always there, but you know, he stayed so persistent and had so much faith in this dog right from the start. You know, everyone wanted to buy him when he was, you know, just running through his grades in bad form, but he knew what he wanted to get out of him, and he's done such a great job. And you know, and to his owners as well, this is their first Group 1, and they've stayed loyal, they've stayed faithful, and they all really deserve it.
He's always had the ability to do something like this, but what's been the reason that he's sort of come of age? Is it experience? What has it been to get him over that hurdle to compete at this level?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's just really placed him really well. He's put him in races and worked him through his grades, and he's got the confidence, and you know, the ability was never the issue. It was always, he just looked like he really needed to learn what to do, and you know, like I said, he's been racing with so much confidence. It's actually really amazing. You know, like I said, credit to Jamie because he cooks my patience, that's for sure. But no, he's been great. He really deserves it.
Nathan Rooney dropped a comment before suggesting he may have been reared by himself. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is. You know, I only found out probably about 10 or so starts ago. I was talking to Ray Brewer here at the Meadows one night, and he said he ran him with Windsor Girl for a little while, but he just got a bit big for her and he had to go out by himself. And, you know, I'm tipping that's probably a really big, you know, cause to why he's taken this long to get so much confidence.
Well, you're in elite camp. This boy has elite ability and he's now a Group 1 winner. Good job.
Thanks so much, Jace. Thank you.
Brooke Ennis there, boys, with Lanfranco. He is a machine. Waited for his turn to sneak through, but he was always going to be a driving force when they'll turn for home.
Unbelievable. Lanfranco just got into the right spot, especially in the last half of the race, and went on to win for Brooke Ennis. Well done to everybody involved. It's some story that you brought to light, Nath, but it was a great performance, 42.756. Tell us firstly your thoughts about the winner, because it did look, well, out of the boxes, a bit troublesome, but then got into a lovely spot on the fence.
Yeah, he's not over-possessed with early box speed, but when he's got the rail as a follow, I think that's always a positive for him. He got through and lobbed in, you know, fourth through the early stages, but he just kept hugging the rails and the runs kept presenting. He was on the back of Ethanol Water, who we'll touch on shortly, was very disappointing. But once he got through on the back of Groovebird, approaching the 600-metre boxes and the home straight for the final occasion, he made the right move by coming around. He balanced back up and he was too strong in the run to the line. Really good training effort. He's most probably the only one that's had 3 weeks between runs. I think Jamie obviously backed himself in, knowing after the fast win, you know, in restricted company, that he'd most probably get the invite for the Zoom top here tonight. And then when he was able to get the invite, he was going to be the one with fresh legs. He was able to prepare him the way he wanted to prepare him for one run. And I think that's the key, where a lot of these dogs had been up in Queensland. They come back, they had a sticky 9-day break. What do you do with them? You had the likes of Unreal Speed, hadn't been seen for 9 months. So there was a few of the questions on how these dogs would acclimatise coming back and how much work you can give them and where they were at, where he was literally set for tonight, and he produced when it counted.
An Unreal Speed, sensational off a 9-month break. That's some training performance, which we're not too unfamiliar with.
No, Robbie Britton's a mastermind trainer, and it's very interesting, you know, even pre-race with Peter Riley, the handler, he said he had a very fast 500-metre trial. He'd done his satisfactory trial to clear him back for racing after the 6-month spell over 460, and they were more than confident he was going to run out a really strong 730 metres tonight, and he did. He kept grinding to the line. He's got to take benefit from that, you know. He's got untapped ability. He's had 11 starts before tonight for 8 wins. He's run some very fast times. He's had the industry, which has really set him back. I think it was an Achilles injury, but he's coming back. And once he gets, you know, another half a dozen runs into him, going forward, he's certainly a stayer to be reckoned with if he can get some consistent racing under his belt.
sensational performance. Groovebird gave an unbelievable side out in front, kept on kicking and was there right in the finish, which, I have to say, Nath, wasn't really expected. Did you expect that?
I'd expected a race forward, but I didn't think she'd take control of the race, and then I was just waiting during the race for Ethanol Water to peel off her back and then pick up and put her away. I think if they got to her a little bit early, she might have, dropped back a little bit and might not have been so close in the run to the line. But because it took them to, the last couple of bounds to grab her, it allowed her to keep momentum and keep rolling. And she ran a bottler, and I'm sure Connections will be pumped with Groovebird's effort to be a runner-up in a Group 1 event.
The great G. Ferrugia you speak of, Nathan.
Well, I was talking about Jeff Britton's training ability, but no, there was nothing on grey areas this week about Groovebird being cherry ripe for tonight and a good each-way push. I didn't catch that memo through George.
You'll hear about it Wednesday, don't worry.
But he would have had a cheeky few dollars each way, no doubt.
Yeah, well done, George. Good stuff, mate. Ethanol Water didn't find the top. Was that the reason you think, perhaps?
No,
disappointing.
No, very, very disappointing. The way she dropped out, it wouldn't surprise if there's something not quite right. And then just 9 days, she spent that time in Queensland. She come back. We thought she had acclimatised, everything was right, but she wasn't anywhere near the Ethanol Water. She lobbed second. When Groovebird led, I thought it's still the perfect dog for her to cart in behind. She's had enough 700. She's rock solid fit, but she dropped out and was unplaced and was pretty disappointing. I think there'll be more behind that disappointing run than what meets the eye.
Lanfranco start 33, win 11, and seems to adore the Meadows.
He does. He's got X factor. And I mean, it'd be so rewarding for the Ennis camp to win a Group 1 with this sort of greyhound, Nath, because, I mean, look, as Brooke said, he would have frustrated the hell out of him throughout his whole career because he just hasn't fulfilled his ability in his racetrack performances. So to pick up a race like this would be so rewarding for them. And the run itself, I mean, he had doors shut plenty of times. He's got one hell of a motor. If he was to unleash consistently, he would be the best stayer in the country.
Yeah, it's credit to Brooke and Jamie. It really is. Like I said, if you go back and see how many times this dog tried to break a maiden and looked like he had zero ability, and I was able to see this greyhound trial after one
That would have been scary.
And Jamie said, have a go at this dog, would you? And I'm like, what? And he goes, you just sit and watch it. And I sat there and watched it, and he goes, he is so fast. And then we had a bit of a running joke as he kept getting beaten in maidens. So I go, he's got to stay, otherwise, what are you going to do? And he goes, he's got to stay, it's my only option. But he didn't push him to 700. He built him up, he turned him out again, and he built him back up.
Yep, put him in fields.
He put him in fields, and he just let him grow confidence. He didn't ship him around too much. He kept him at the Meadows, and he's kept him at Sandown. So he's tried to familiarise him with the tracks where the big races are at. He's got the ability of a big race greyhound, and it was just a matter of time before all the pieces of the puzzle worked. It's taken 30-odd starts. It's taken a good box draw, but he's finally got a Group 1 next to his name. That's a reward for effort. And Jamie told me this near on 12 months ago, so it's been something in his head that he's planned. And as I mentioned to Mark earlier, Jace, a lot of these greyhounds, 5 of the 8 were coming back from Queensland. We had Unreal Speed, who hadn't been seen for a period of time. Lanfranco was the only one after he blew the clock up here 3 weeks ago that Team Ennis thought, we're going to get a ticket into the Temlee, the Zoom top, I should say, and they have planned tonight's run to the second, and it's come to fruition.
Is it a big disadvantage for a lot of these runners having come from Brisbane last week straight into, well, after an interstate trip, straight into another Group 1? Easy to say now, after the race.
Yeah, and it was something that we were going to learn tonight. There was a lot of them runners, and Mapunga Tully threw that out the water. Her run tonight was brilliant, and she had the same campaign as these stayers. But a few have performed under par. If that's the transport back, if that's not settling back home into the regime, if that's the gap of like the 9 days, which you've touched on, where the time you get them back and acclimatise them, there isn't enough time to really put another run under their belt. So stayers that are running every 5 to 7 days all of a sudden have a bigger gap than they're used to, and they just might train off that fraction. There's going to be plenty of question marks about it, but he was the only dog set for the race. He didn't go to Queensland. He bought his time here. He learnt to race. He was full of confidence. He drew the alley, and he got the job done.
Now, we mentioned as Patch was on the track about Unreal Speed and the training performance. Patch, you want to?
Yeah, I don't mean to take you blokes overall. Ground clearly been through it, but his run, I was watching him in run. He shut the door on Lanfranco past the winning post. I had to remind myself, who is this dog that's flying mid-race? It was him. The training performance of Rob Britton, to have him first up since May, perform the way he did in a good Group 1 over 700 metres is something else. And Peter Riley off air straight after the race before I spoke to Brooke Ennis said, watch out for next week. He's going to be a force based on what we saw tonight.
Yeah, well, he'll be an interesting one because, as me and Mark touched on and your interview alluded, he had a 460 at Geelong and then a 500 trial at the Meadows, was it? So that's the first time he's been above 500, so he's going to take great benefit. If tonight's run flattens him like a second up syndrome, that wouldn't surprise me either. But I think if he can get some serious racing into him on a regular basis over the next 3 months and get another 10 starts, because we're talking a dog that's only having his 12th start tonight. He's very inexperienced, Jay, so he's got a big motor. His run was astronomical tonight. He will take benefit from that. If that's going to be next week or a month down the track, I'm not sure. But he's certainly going to be a major player. And it's good to see, as we touched on, the two X-Factor dogs that we talked about, Unreal Speed and Lanfranco, really made their presence felt tonight. And we did touch pre-race on the turning of a page in a new era. I think there's two dogs there that will certainly go a long way into distance racing in the next 12 months.
And as you said earlier on, Mark, racing people are impatient and they move on quickly.
No, humans,
people. Yeah, well, exactly right. Unreal Speed, don't forget about him.
Yep.
That was something else tonight. So what he promised back in May, which was pretty bloody handy, I think he's gone to another level tonight. That was some sort of effort.
Yeah, I think it's no surprise to see him run like that. What the surprise is first up after 9 months in a Group 1 to run like that. But that is just well and truly the credit of Robbie Britton as a trainer and then his vets and the people that he's used to bring this dog back to full fitness and full ability to race at the highest level. So a credit to everybody involved with Unreal Speed in the performance tonight.
There's Groove Bird going to the front and, well, being pretty difficult to catch. Ethanol Water in pursuit. And there's the winner back on the fence.
So the door shuts right there.
Hardly left the fence.
Well, probably not as harsh as what I thought it was live, but he got that room underneath, Nathan. Well, speaking about Ethanol Water, and here's a good opportunity for us to judge what happened. She just folded.
She was gone at the boxes, after a lap. So she's gone 450 metres. And she was gone. She was in reverse, and she continues to go in reverse. So she was nowhere near what we expected. I thought the run of the race, apart from the winner, was Groove Bird. It ran out of its skin. It defied its price. It was on speed. It was brave, and it was certainly not unlucky, but very unlucky not to have a Group 1 next to its name. And it's very similar to the poor Oswald conversation we had earlier about greyhounds. That if she pinched the Group 1 tonight, she's not a Group 1 stayer. But sometimes you're in the right place at the right time, and Groove Bird nearly pulled that off tonight by a bold front-running display.
Well, on to race number 9, the 7th heat of the Australian Cup, and we have another favourite coming back down from Queensland out of the not the Brisbane Cup, the Gold Bullion, and was last, but obviously got to the final and he's racing quite well. We speak of Deadly Avenger. Are we concerned at all? Again, back on our conversation of greyhounds coming back from Queensland.